I will fully admit it feels a little weird, a little awkward doing these videos out in places where other people are around and might see you making a video talking to your phone. But that's how it is. You got to get over it. We got to grow one way or the other. And that brings me to the point of this video about evolution, which is a very important concept when it comes to getting stronger. And it's something I had to do today. I'm not going to go too much into my own example, but I've gotten pretty decent at pull-ups this last year. I can do quite a few of them, about 10 to 12 really good ones. And I think at this point, now that I can do that many really good ones, okay, I can do more if I let this form slack a little bit and range of motion a little less than what it should be. I can do probably a few more than 12 to 15. But it's not always good to just keep trying to do more. Once you get to a certain number of repetitions or a certain weight, you need to either improve your technique and form or evolve or progress to an even harder movement. So for example, today, I would have normally done just a bunch of pull-ups and chin-ups, okay? Either 8 sets of 8, 10 sets of 5, 9 sets of 6, whatever. I would have done around 60 total pull-ups and chin-ups. But I've been thinking the last couple of days, that's enough. I think at this point, we need to move on to something more difficult. What is that more difficult variation? The L-sit pull-up and chin-up. And yes, it's quite a bit harder. I've always done them, or I've always at least hung from a bar in that position where you're just hanging from a bar with your arms straight and your legs out in front of you. And I would do maybe 1 or 2 pull-ups, but I've never really worked on that movement per se. I've never really worked on improving that more difficult pull-up and chin-up variation. And I can tell you, today was my first day. Normally I do something like 10 sets of 5 with maybe 30 seconds to a minute rest between each set. 5 sets of 5 on the pull-ups, then another 5 sets of 5 on the chin-ups, for a total of 50 pull-ups and chin-ups. Well, today with the L-sit, I did my first set and got to 3, and I thought, okay, that's enough. We're gonna do 3 sets of 3 for pull-ups, 3 sets of 3 for chin-ups. Was it challenging? Yeah, it was challenging. Could I have done more? Yes, but that's not the point. The point is, I had to step it up. I had to do something a little more challenging. Now, as I keep going with this is what I'm gonna be doing. Instead of doing the standard pull-up or chin-up, I'll be doing L-sits now. So I've got to work on that. And I had a lot of room to improve on my technique and range of motion with these. I would say the L-sit variation is at least 2 to 3 times harder than a regular pull-up or chin-up. Now, how would this apply to a beginner just starting out? It's the same concept, you just don't do as drastic of changes. Let's say, I think most people know what a push-up is. Most people can do some variation of a push-up, but let's say you're a rank beginner and you can barely do 5 good push-ups, all right? Like that for you, I gotta fix this lighting a little bit. That for you would find very, very challenging, just 5 good push-ups. Okay, so that's where you stay out for a while. And what you do is you work on form, technique, range of motion. You don't even, some days, the people I work with, if that's where they're at, I don't even have them doing a lot of push-ups right from the get-go. I have them stay in the push-up position and really try to feel where each joint of their body is. Where are your shoulders in relation to your elbows? Where are you holding your head in relation to your neck? Where are your scapula? Where are your hips, your knees, your toes? How are you holding everything? And become more aware of it. That's more important, especially at the start, than just doing a bunch of repetitions. Okay, and a lot of people don't know this, but that's where the strength is built. The strength is built by improving your form, your technique, and your range of motion. Now let's take this even further. So you've gotten to where you can do 10 to 20 good push-ups. Okay, they're good, like they're solid. They're all the way down, all the way up, shoulders fully extended, scapulas protracted. You can do 10 to 20 good ones. Well, now what? Now what do you work on? Well, now there's all kinds of ways to make it more difficult. You can start bringing your feet forward, so now your shoulders are, instead of being directly over your wrists, are now forward of your wrist. You can start playing with different variations. Diamond push-ups, for example, wide grip, do them with your hands wider, do them with your hands staggered. You want to really start experimenting on the different ways you can do things and just improving your technique, improving your form. You don't just want to keep doing more repetitions and more repetitions. You want to find ways to make it more challenging. That's the best way to go when you're looking to get stronger. Because if you just keep doing the same amount of repetitions, just trying to do more of what you've already been doing, you're not really getting stronger. What you're doing is you're just getting better at a very narrowly defined skill, a very narrow range of motion. You need to increase your range of motion. You need to increase the different ways you can do similar exercises, variations. It's kind of like music. You have a theme, then you got variations on the theme. It's the same with exercises. You've always got the basics, but then you've got variations on those basics. The basics are always going to be there. You're never really going to stop doing those. You're just going to experiment and find different variations you can do on each exercise. Doesn't matter if it's pull-ups, push-ups, squats, lunges, and those are the big four right there. Push-ups, pull-ups, squats, and lunges. There's all kinds of variations. There's all kinds of work you can do to make your form and your technique better at each one. Even the basic squat or the basic lunge. Most people, as I was saying the other day, can't do a very good forward walking lunge. They get off balance. They can't go very deep. But once you're down to doing those with good form, you can start doing them a little differently. Start doing them slower. Start doing them backwards. Start doing them sideways. That's how you continually get better. It's not necessarily just adding more and more to doing the same thing exactly like you've been doing it over and over and over. What that's going to do is oftentimes lead to injury because you're using the same muscles in the same pattern over and over and over, and you just keep overloading it. That's what you want to stay away from. Get to a certain point, get to a certain number of repetitions that you're good at, and then look to evolve. Look to bring on a more difficult variation or more challenging variation or just something different, but still works the same muscles, just not in the exact same way. I hope that makes some sense to you all. We're going to cut it off for now because we're almost at 8 minutes. We got to cut it. That's it for now. We will talk later.